Delta Airlines is currently the world's largest operator of the Boeing 757, with over 100 active examples in its fleet. Despite being an older aircraft type, the 757 remains largely unmatched in terms of performance, and it has proven time and time again to be a very reliable airplane. Today I'll be flying the largest variant of the 757, the 757-300, for the very first time on a quick 1-hour flight from St. Louis to Atlanta. I hope you'll enjoy this quick yet exciting experience on board the Flying Pencil. Let's get started. It's around 2:15 in the morning and you're joining me inside the absolutely deserted check-in hall here at St. Louis Lambert Airport's Terminal 1. Thankfully, despite it being so early, all of the self-check-in kiosks were working, so I was able to check in and print my boarding passes without issue. The check-in hall has 4 massive departure and arrival boards, which I thought were really cool. However, if you look closely, you might notice some slight peculiarities. Firstly, one of the departing flights, United Flight 1415, is mistakenly listed here as departing to New Orleans, when in reality it actually operates to Houston, and later on, a different aircraft operates under this flight number from Houston to New Orleans. Now, we're flying Delta today, and something else rather unusual about this display is that Delta's flights are nowhere to be seen here. This was my first time ever flying from St. Louis, and I have to say the architecture here in Terminal 1's check-in hall is pretty incredible, although the rest of the terminal is nowhere nearly as impressive. Something I found rather odd about this airport that I've never seen anywhere else is that the check-in hall is located on the upper level, and you actually have to take an escalator down to the lower level to access the security checkpoints and gates. St. Louis is one of the only airports in the world to have a dedicated free speech booth, which we're passing by right now. And if you want to know more about this, just search it up because it's a lot to explain. You'll also find a good amount of shops and restaurants on the lower level, in addition to the baggage claim area and exit, which is another really weird thing about this airport. Terminal 1 is divided up into 2 concourses, Concourse A serving Delta, United, and Air Canada, and Concourse C serving American, Alaska, Cape Air, Frontier, Spirit, and Southern Airways Express. The other 2 airlines serving St. Louis, namely Southwest and Lufthansa, operate from Terminal 2, aka Concourse E. Terminal 1 used to have Concourses B and D, but these areas of the terminal have long been abandoned ever since TWA and later American shut down their hub operations at this airport. As you can imagine, we reached the airport pretty early, so we had to wait around a little bit before the security checkpoint opened at 4 a.m. After a pretty painless security check, here we are at the airside portion of Concourse A and passing by gate A6, where our flight departs from this morning. The terminal, as expected, features a nice variety of shops and food places, but as you can probably tell, it feels pretty outdated. St. Louis Airport, in fact, plans to eventually demolish both of the existing terminals and consolidate them into one big terminal building while simultaneously keeping the beautiful check-in hall of Terminal 1. I honestly think that's a great idea because St. Louis Airport has a lot of abandoned gate spaces that will never be used in the near future, so revamping the current setup is desperately needed. The 757-300 is the largest and longest narrow-body aircraft in the world. Delta have 16 examples in their fleet, all of which are configured with 234 seats. There are 24 seats in first class, followed by 32 in Comfort Plus, and the remaining 178 in main cabin. I should also quickly mention that this flight is normally operated by the 757-200. However, due to a mechanical issue with our original aircraft, we were swapped to a 757-300 the night before. The 753 has operated this flight only twice this year, so needless to say this was going to be quite the novelty flight. The seats are pretty much the same as all Delta mainline economy seats, with adjustable headrests and great seat padding. Each seat is equipped with a touchscreen personal entertainment monitor, and the system is motion sensitive, which is helpful for nighttime flights because if you wave your hand in front of the screen, the USB port and headphone jack will light up, thus making them easier to locate in low light situations. The seat also has a standard tray table and 2 seat pockets, the larger one for personal belongings and a smaller one for literature. I found the legroom to be pretty decent and was also happy to see universal power outlets on board. The only downside to this is that there are just 2 outlets per 3 seats. Finally, of course, above your seat is the passenger service unit, which houses the air vents, reading lights, and call buttons. Complimentary earbuds were distributed shortly before pushback. However, I'd also recommend bringing your own just in case. Even before the aircraft upgauge, this flight was going out with quite a few open seats. So of course, with this larger 757-300, the amount of empty seats grew significantly, and many passengers, including myself, had 3 seats all to ourselves.
6 doors have detachable slides that can be used as rafts. The 2 smaller doors behind the wings have detachable slides that can be used for flotation. 2 additional rafts are located in ceiling compartments near the 2 smaller doors behind them. It is fully extended to start the flow of oxygen. Remove any face covering and place the mask over your nose and mouth. Slip the elastic strap over your head and adjust the mask if necessary. Breathe normally and note that oxygen is flowing, so don't worry if the bag doesn't inflate. Be sure to adjust your own mask before helping others.
In anticipation of the snack service, here's a look at the tray table. It was clean and pretty standard, and I appreciate the fact that it's extendable. The snack service consisted of a drink of choice, for which I was handed a bottle of water, and 4 choices of snack: Sun Chips, granola bar, peanuts, or Biscoff cookies. I decided to go for the legendary Delta branded cookies, which were good as always. All of Delta's mainline fleet feature onboard Wi-Fi. On the Wi-Fi website, you can check your destination weather and send messages for free. Internet access requires an $8 fee, while streaming entertainment, although useless because of the in-flight entertainment screens, is $10. You can also purchase a monthly Wi-Fi access pass for $49.95. As usual with US carriers, Delta has a fantastic in-flight entertainment system. The screen is super responsive and contains an extensive library of movies, TV shows, live TV channels, and audio choices. I especially like the My Flight tab, which shows the exact aircraft you're on and information about the aircraft, basic flight information, and the ability to browse your destination airport terminal map if applicable. You can also access the 2D in-flight map from here, which, while pretty straightforward, is very detailed and helpful in telling you your location in addition to more flight details. The IFE system also has an About Delta section, a place to scan the in-flight menu, games, and a dedicated folder for kids' entertainment. After a very quick cruising period, we soon began our descent into Delta's largest hub and world's busiest airport, Atlanta. We approached the airport from the northwest, passed over downtown Atlanta, and then made a 180-degree turn for our final approach and landing on runway 26 right.
pleasure to welcome you to Atlanta, where the local time is approximately 8:07 a.m. Please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened and all carry-on items stowed until this aircraft is parked at the gate and the captain has turned off the seatbelt sign.
The Boeing 757 serves as a true backbone for Delta's domestic, short-haul, and medium-haul operations. It's truly an amazing airplane both inside and out, and it really makes me happy that Delta will be keeping their current fleet of over 100 757s for many years to come. Today's flight was fantastic with nothing to complain about. Then again, the only reason I took this flight was to fly the 757 again. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll have a 2-hour connection here in Atlanta before taking the 717 across to Dallas Love Field. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss that exciting video, hopefully coming next week. If you enjoyed today's trip report, feel free to leave a like and comment if you have any feedback. But that'll do it for today. Thanks a lot everyone, take care, and I'll see you next time.